the other thing that I've noticed is, especially, from a digital and user experience perspective, it's like all it takes is one competitor in that space to actually start investing in that customer or user experience. And they shoot ahead of the competition for a short period of time until everyone starts panicking and trying to catch up. And that I find in some industries, like the airline industry, that's often the only way that everyone moves in a direction of improvement from a customer and digital perspective.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what if an organization wants to start making a change? They've never thought about brand economics or the brand ecosystem. They haven't really defined if they have a great brand ecosystem, a ton of brand value or not. What's kind of like step one into steering the ship in that direction?
I think step one is to remove this notion of brand value, number one, right? Don't look at the size of another brand and compare yourself or have expectations around that, because you can build cult brands that don't have high brand value, right? And it can be you could serve a very niche portion of the population and have unbelievable like revenue or margin engagement, whatever that may be. Think about like Ferrari or Harley Davidson. They're not for everybody. Harley's not for everybody, right? They'll never just continuously pump out bikes.
Yeah.
Right. But their impact and their brand equity and how much of a cult brand they are is truly unbelievable. So focus on the brand equity and the brand strength side of the equation. Erase brand value from it. Eventually you can build brand value, right? But that equity is in the short term and the long term actually the most monetizable thing. So the first thing I would do is probably just go and survey internally. Remember, your employees are canaries in the coal mine, right? Management often has a view of the brand, how great they are, things like that. But go and actually talk to your staff. Where do you think we're doing great? What could be improved? Where do you think we're generating value? What do you think our core pillars of our brand are? Right? What's our DNA? Right? Because it really does come down to knowing yourself better. Right? And if you know yourself better, you fundamentally understand it, finding your customer base is going to be that much easier, right? Because you just put yourself out there in a very authentic way and people resonate with that. So go talk to the people who live out your attributes and DNA every day. And that's probably the cheapest thing you can do. You don't have to pay for sample, right? You don't even have to incentivize. They would be more than happy to answer that. And then contrast that with, what does management think and feel? And look at what the similarities or differences are. I would then loop in other parts of your ecosystem. What does your suppliers think? What do your clients think? Right? About you, about other organizations. Now, this is a great way to establish an unbiased view of who you are. Because where you can take that next is start to extend that into why do people buy and why do people consume, right? And where do you fit in that continuum? For example, like the Starbucks coffee example. If you go to Starbucks or wherever you go to buy, part of the reason why you purchase is you might be thirsty, you need to wake up, you want a coffee, you want a Starbucks coffee, right? And then so what happens is you're able to start to figure out how are people purchasing, why do they purchase in the category, agnostic of any brand, and look at what they're prioritizing, and then figure out and contrast that with what your staff said and what your suppliers said and your past clients said. Do you match? Do you meet those expectations in the market? And if you do, great, continue to do that. And that's going to start to build brand equity. Eventually, that'll build brand value.